I want to take this opportunity before we get into the show to say the show hasn't been captured yet. If there's anyone from ZANU-PF or MDC A to Z who wants to buy the show for their own personal use, please do, because there's a running joke amongst those in the entertainment industry that if you really want to succeed, you have to leave Zimbabwe. I did this because it's not really a joke. There's nothing funny about it. It's like that awkward chuckle you make when your crush tells you that they love you, but not like that. Everyone wants to succeed on their own terms, and those terms usually include doing it amongst and with your own people. But we still chuckle at that joke because deep down, we know that our chances at basic survival will get dramatically better if we leave. We chuckle because we need to keep ourselves from crying. As a fellow creative, I find it heartbreaking that almost every single person who has made Zimbabweans laugh or dance is currently poor or has died poor, with nothing except a GoFundMe for medical bills to their name. So our question today is, what is it really about Zimbabwe that can't sustain talent? Ladies and gentlemen, war vets and unfocused youth, welcome to another episode of Propaganda with Kandoro. If you Google Zimbabwean musician falls on hard times, you're going to see the most depressing search results. These are all stars who once lit our worlds. One day you're filling up venues, signing book deals, appearing on national TV every night. But when it all fades away, all you're left with are conversations of how days gone by are better. You're actually fortunate if that's all it leaves you with. How does this happen? Is Magitare Abadare a self-fulfilling prophecy? Mafia Madi. Aiwa, masmosmo, aiwa, masmosmo. Aiwa, msadaro mafia. Aiwa, masmosmo, kungodash. No, kungodash dash rise, kungoedza kubaranza. Aiwa. Thanks mafia, kungodash dash rise. No. During the first decade of independence, the state, through the Ministry of Information, launched a very aggressive initiative to promote Zimbabwe as a filmmaking center for Hollywood studios. The campaign, or something, must have been working because in his book, Black African Cinema, revered film critic Frank Ukadike called Zimbabwe Africa's Hollywood. The government even struck a deal with Universal Pictures that led to the production of Cry Freedom, featuring Denzel Washington in Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, that movie didn't do well, and the government lost its $5.5 million investment. And as you guys know, our government doesn't like losing money. Let me rephrase. Our government doesn't like other people losing their money, because that's one area they are fully capable of handling themselves. That will be the last time they invested that much in the entertainment industry. The lack of institutional support continues to this day. The powers that be watched as piracy and inflation forced companies like Grammar Records and ZMC to shut down, leaving the music business in a each man for himself and passion Java for us all.
Kandizo.
What is?
Ndimkamurufaya pa YouTube, pa Insta, uta viral video. Kuonekere
No, ndiriloka ndrungosvika pamashops apa.
Pokango ndinzirokani mazepi.
Amazi ndokutsvagira something.
Amazepi
Handingazombokushaire kachiningirikina. Ndokutsvagira something. Ndokulika saka nongori pawapi.
Nendiri pano. Nenawo mirira.
In the past 20 years, the government has only gotten involved with the entertainment industry when it directly benefits them. Comrade Chinks, Pax Afro, Tamba Oga, all those music galas and biras, Chinoi 7. The last drama to grip the nation was Studio 263, many years ago. And maybe Cool Not a Cool, brought to you by these guys. How many times have you seen an exciting trailer for a local movie but struggled to find where to watch it? How many Zimbabwean hit songs have you tried to look up but couldn't find on iTunes or Spotify? Just next door, Going viral will get you a marketing deal minimum. Matter of fact, South African artists get paid royalties whenever their songs are used in a TikTok. Last year alone, Netflix invested in at least 8 Netflix original from South African filmmakers. This is what happens when there's ecosystems and structures within the entertainment industry. When asked about her plans for the industry, Minister Kesti Coventry had this to say. Well said, Minister, well said. Mafia. Vurira sei. Aiwa maza. Aiwa, thanks Mafia. Aiwa, thanks Mafia. Kusimbisa aiwa. No, ndime mchitimbisa waisa. Aiwa, mas small waisa. Gunda we andru ngoda induda Fanta. Waisa, someone ndinaisira Fanta chi pane. Aiwa Fanta ungo kwapisa kamndara kwapisa. But pane banazo promise mukandiva Fanta nemajigis ndabozi pakona apa Fanta nemajigis. Tamsa. Yeah. Chief. I might have for now one. With drive was with drive. I was Simbis. Taza.
Fanta gani too much.
Taza Jerum that.
Mungo zoga ndimimbinga ga mungo support small business.
Eish. Taza.
Yeah. Small ga for me.
Taza izvo ndandisina manje. Hawana because nda price nandifunga kuti hey pashata. Munozwa nyora umsana ndo clear.
Boys me ghetto youth me my boys ready me.
But mamboti mwanjisimbosimbisa ayo mas. Ndoya nawo masini. Mungonyora umsana ndo clear.
But kumsana imi boys muno muzotsakatika ka ndizokoni ngufamba mchitiza.
Mas ndandichatozozoka.
Yeah.
Saibude.
Yeah, itobudi. Saka mire tikatodai duka ungozodzoka kana zvaita.
Manje wakuchatopfurike ka because ndatopromisa. Beyond the lack of institutional support, another hurdle is the politicization of every facet of Zimbabwean life. It's become a struggle to talk about anything without making or taking political inferences. This creates complications that force most artists to shy away from national conversations because they cannot afford being labeled sympathizers of Party A or Party B. But much worse than shying away from national conversation, it forces artists to pander to certain people and agendas because they genuinely believe is the only way to guarantee their next meal.
My branding changed, so I can't tell me no more books.
Kana makuda zveMDC chikotaura kuti makuda zveMDC handi zvekureza mapanduki parapa ndo asida vanhu vanovharisa corridor.
Our education curriculum could be better. Let me rephrase that. Our education curriculum needs to be better. Currently, sports and arts are treated like extracurricular activities, things that we do to pass time in between what we should all be focusing on, academics. This elitist attitude often leads to the stigma attached to careers in the entertainment industry. Our arts and sports have the same potential, if not more, to contribute meaningfully to the nation's GDP. But let me not get ahead of myself, because this is a whole episode on its own. We, the fans, are also to blame. We've been crippled by the bystander effect. Instead of taking it upon ourselves to support our favorite artist, we assume that it's somebody else's responsibility to do so. For every 20 tweets asking, where is the new episode of Real Housemates of Zimbabwe, there's probably only 3 tweets asking how they can support the show financially. Do you know how much of an indictment it is of us as a society that Passion Java is the guy helping and resurrecting careers of some of the most talented artists? As long as we continue consuming art without paying for it in some form, the longevity of these creations and their creators remains compromised. If you don't want people like Panganai to continue poisoning the arts with their malicious agendas, all you have to do is to make sure that you're putting food on your favorite artist's table. Share their content, subscribe to their YouTube, buy their merchandise, pay for their art. All these reasons contribute to why talent is seemingly unsustainable in Zimbabwe. And nothing less than a collective effort is going to bring our entertainment industry on par with the regional standards. Can't even say international because that would be asking for a lot. If you throw a stone between 6 to 8 p.m. in Zimbabwe, it will probably hit a family watching either The River, Gomorrah, or The Queen. All South African telenovelas. It's this way because the SABC, amongst other state institutions, are available to artists. Back home, all we're asking for is for the chaos to stop. The chaos that is the censorship board, the chaos that is Zemura, the chaos that is ZBC, the chaos that is politicians posing with food donations instead of enacting laws that empower artists and the industry. All this chaos needs to stop. But then again, the chaos and the confusion directly benefits them.
Number 1.
So why would they do anything to fix it? This has been another episode of Propaganda with Kandoro. And if everything goes well, I'll catch you guys next week.